Well, that's a very odd start to my morning. I had logged out AFK at my mob farm, and yeah, there's a few critters up there, so I need to actually deal with that and get them cleaned out pretty quickly here. That was not quite the sound level I'd expected when I started. Okay, so first things first, let's go. I've got the sound turned down and completely off right now, so it's not your imagination. But I want to get rid of. Oh, geez. Oh, there goes me. We've got things dying simply by virtue of the fact that they are entity cramming. Not ideal. If we can get this mess out of the way. This one.
Hello.
Good morning. Welcome, Fantastic Sherlock Fox. Sorry for all the noise to start if you were hearing that just before you chimed in. Had a bit of a backlog from my AFK farm. Knowing that not all the creatures would collapse at the bottom of the pit, they were getting to the point where they were actually entity cramming each other, which is a bit of a pain. But we're seeing stuff move now, which is good news. So I'll close this one up. This thing still needs a bit of a repair, but at least it was functional for the weekend. All right. Make sure stuff's coming through. Yep, can I? Nope, no space. Okay, first things, now that we've got a little bit less sound going on, let's get some sound into the game live. Okay, game fade in. Okay, that's good but loud, so I can turn that down a little bit. There we go, some clickety clicks. Okay, so where was I here? I was just dumping some extra yuck in the whatever, the thingamajigger. And so what I'd actually wanted was some bones and stuff, but I can leave this all, I think. Is there anything I need here? Not really. I can leave all this mess till later. Take a quick move through what's collected and make sure there's nothing that I want right now. So I'll take this. Bottles are always nice. Strings always nice. Feathers nice. One in here. Either that. This one. That. But still dropping stuff live. Okay. Nothing more interesting. Okay. Get some of those pieces out of the way and head on out. And just drop for a while. Fine. So today's plan, we're at the start of another project, so I was actually wondering what on earth I was going to be doing, because you can see the boat's virtually finished. I'm just going to leave it as is for now. I mean, it needs a couple of banners, but that's something I can easily do off camera. That's really all there is to it. And then we've more or less finished with the raid farm. I spent some time last week just getting kills in the raid farm. Realizing that if I wanted to make it any more useful, I'd actually have to wander around and fill a bazillion caves, which is doable, but definitely not camera fodder. But to give you a hint of what we're up to today, is I will take this one with me. Yes, carpeting. One of the things I shouldn't say known for, but one of the things I did last season, which probably one of the only things I did last season, was work a little bit on some carpet art. So I think we're going to return to that plan again. I've been struggling with what to do for the Brother Cadfael character. It's going to bug me. And so I think what I'm going to do is I found a good morning. How are you this morning, Firepower? Glad to see you aboard. You spoiled me last week with following, so we'll see if I can keep your interest. So some of the projects we've got that we've built so far, sorry for derailing, I do apologize, Fantastic Sherlock Fox. Some of the projects we've built so far, so this is a river steamboat for the Nile, and these guys, huge as they are the, what do you call them? Seated Pharaohs, so you would see that. And that's a reference to the mystery novel by Agatha Christie, Death on the Nile. Actually, I think while I'm here, I should probably just take this down. So basically the theme of my base this season was to be... Oh, I don't have much for sound. Okay, well that's not a problem. Just a little bit more. So the theme for this season is to be references, even if they're loose, to some of my favorite mystery books. And the visuals are often taken from visual adaptations of the mystery books, partially because it's just a lot easier that way. Interpretation and development from scratch is not one of my fortes, so I do borrow ideas from others from time to time. But the boat, for example, the boat was all mine, which was interesting because I've never designed something quite that big before, so cool. And the interior is done up as well. Like, we've got little rooms up top, and they all have beds and torches. I didn't decorate up the walls, but tried to pay attention to detail based on like the wall colors. So that was probably the bigger one. The noise this morning that started everything off was that I had AFK'd at my mob farm, which is a rather janky mob farm up in the sky, and it doesn't quite kill all the mobs, particularly not if they're armored. It should, but it doesn't. Therefore, sometimes when you log back in after having been AFK and then the server reboots, you've got an awful lot of mobs there, and this is probably the first time I've had enough in there that they started entity cram killing themselves when I logged in, so that's a new one for me. Well, thank you for the compliment. I really do appreciate that. Yeah, I think that's a good one for a bit of a confidence booster, because sometimes I have a little bit of a confidence issue in terms of designing my own stuff, but that one's a good one for a confidence booster. Every season, my goal really is to grow a little bit in my Minecraft skills. So this season I'm trying a few things that are new. The boat design was one of them. I'd never built a mob farm before. I'd never built a raid farm before. Raid farm turned out kind of a bit of a jank fail, but it functions if you sort of kickstart it along a little bit like a scooter. But that was just because I did a ground level one, and the ground level raid farms have a couple of issues with them. First and foremost is, of course, you have to worry about how many caves are beneath you, because you don't have the advantage of just air block. And unfortunately, the spaghetti caves in 1.18 make it a little bit more difficult to find all the pieces. And it also means that you can't just simply cheat by, or simplify, I guess, by just filling them up with water. That's also a nice, easy solution. But I do like it when it happens. The other thing was that the design I worked with didn't initially have any defense against evokers. So I had a death or two to, what do you call them? The little floaty things. I can't remember at the moment, but anyways. So yeah, don't like those vexes at all. Solution to that was easy enough, was just don't hit the evoker in the first place, because he can't see in the kill chamber area where the player is. If I don't swipe at him, then I can just, I stuck in a sticky piston and just suffocate the dude. So yeah, it means I get a few less experience sometimes, but I'm willing to take that hit just if I can avoid having vexes kick my butt. Also, I like to travel with a few boats when I was playing with that one, because then it just makes it a little easier for me not to have my behind handed to me. So, where was I going? So today I'm actually headed back to something that's a bit of a comfort zone for me. And last season I did sorry, I'll back up a little bit. I play both Bedrock and Java. This is Java. I chose to do Java this season. I don't know if I'm going to alternate back and forth, or if I'm going to stay one flavor or the other for the next, whenever we reboot season. But so this one is Java, but last season I did a Bedrock, and I didn't do much on there, nor did I stream. That's a new thing, or new this season, I guess. And last season I built a Ghostbusters firehouse. And then after that, I did a very, very large carpet art of the Ghostbusters logo on the ground to go with that. So this season, I've been struggling to figure out what reference did I want for my absolute favorite character. Yeah, Dadcraft73 has actually has 3 servers. He's got a Java server, a Bedrock server, and a modded Java. So yeah, the Bedrock server crew are probably, what's the word? The noisiest, I guess. And that's not necessarily meant to be a negative thing. That's just that they are busy individuals. They are very active individuals, and a lot of them like to visit other streamers. The Bedrock crew do as well, but on the whole, the Bedrock crew is a little bit of a quieter bunch. We have some more friendly individuals who visit others quite a bit. Like, for example, you may have met the Zerks. Dead Zed Zerk and PP Zerk. They're fantastic individuals. They're actually mods here as well, though they're not in this morning. And anyways, they like to visit others, and I know you're familiar with a little bit with Arch Thunder. He's from the Bedrock server side. Yeah, it's actually quite a strange brew crew we've got going. And apparently we have a few others. There's more that stream from the Bedrock than from Java, and I think it's just by virtue of the fact that you've got, the multi platforms that they can play from. And so I think the Bedrock server has more members on it for that reason, because then you can even have PC people. And though there is a few that are actually quite looking forward to Microsoft's upcoming licensing interchangeability, because they would really like to try either Java just to see how it feels different, or because they want to try modded and have never played modded before. So that's kind of nice, but understandably, I can't blame them if they don't want to spend another bunch of bucks, because when Fantastic Sherlock Fox and I bought licenses for our kids and for the family, we actually got in on the deal a few years ago, where if you bought a Java license from the Mojang website, you got a free license to Bedrock at that time. It did not work in the opposite direction. So if you bought the Bedrock via Microsoft, you did not get a free Java license. So yeah, but we had already paid for separately an iPad version. So when iPad went Bedrock, then we could suddenly have iPad playing with PC, which was quite nice in our family. Yeah, Fantastic Sherlock Fox is actually in another room on this same floor as I am, and he has to deal right now with a company. He's working for a company right now who has offices in France as their main headquarters, which basically means then that we are in Alberta, Western Canada, which means that our time zones are really janky. And when France wants a meeting, France will pick whatever, more or less whatever France wants. There's some people there that are courteous, and some that are less so, and some that are just, busy enough because they're busy people, that they end up having their EAs book slots that are, that are as good as they can manage, so it might be 4:30 France time, which would be half decent here, but it's not always the case. So when the France company has a State of the Union equivalent type message going on, everybody's required to watch it. It's like 4:30 our time and 4:30 a.m. So it's not great. But yes, so I'll get that off the table real quick right at the beginning, is that yes, Fantastic Sherlock Fox and I are a married couple. He mods for me but does not play. Just one of those busy life things. Okay, so where are we here? I keep wandering around because I'm trying to figure out where to put my new art. So I let's back it up a step. I just will give you a real quick rundown. So this train, that train, you can probably guess, is a reference to Murder on the Orient Express, another Agatha Christie novel I love. So I used Structura for that one. Well, technically Lightmatica to build those. The designs were actually by Crafty Fox. I made a couple of slight modifications here and there, but not a lot. More it's the interior. The baggage car didn't actually get decorated inside because it's a baggage car and there's no passengers. And then they actually, as I understand it, he is into Minecraft. He watches a lot with us. He used to play with us. It's just life got busy and he didn't have time to continue. So that's a reference to Death on the Nile. B block used to work, glitches and all that. We have no bees in it. Tried 3 rounds and they kept disappearing, so I just gave up. But that was a reference to Sherlock Holmes because he was a beekeeper. There's more references to that, as you can see over my head. There's the very large magnifying glass, which, hindsight 2020, I should have put it horizontally and used it like a greenhouse roof over the farms, but, didn't really remember. Of course, we've got the generic useful stuff going on, farms and so on, and buildings. Now, the only other reference, I guess you'd say, is because I was doing the mystery-themed books, you've kind of got a somewhat book-shaped, very large trading hall, the right half of which is all librarians, and they're incredibly noisy. I do use journey maps, so I'll just pop that one up, and you can see that we've got the book hanging out in the bottom, and then just your average farms and stuff, and there's the B block, and there's the magnifying glass. And the train is ridiculous in terms of scale, and the statues in the boat are ridiculous in terms of scale as well. So that's what I'm trying to figure out now, is where to put a new build of the carpet art, because it is going to be, how many rows? About 150, I think. And I'm trying to remember, is that in each direction? Yeah, I think it's a square art, about 150 in each direction. And I prefer, when I'm doing carpet art, to do it on a flat canvas, so to speak, just because... No, I'm not on that block. Just because it makes it a little bit easier for me to figure out where things are. One of the growth items I hope to get into in future was actually working with textures and heights and stuff. But at the moment yet, I'm not necessarily thrilled with dealing with the janky inability to put differing colors on the same layer. Yeah, so I think I might just flatten stuff out in here and put it there. I know things look a little cramped when you're over or above. Actually, I could also put it over there and do less. If I put it over here, that might be a better spot. To the west of the nest up B box and stuff. I did a dumb that you may hear in the background from time to time as we work. You can see I've got a glassed-in Java-styled iron farm. The oopsie-daisy was somebody was like, oh yeah, things will bob in water, and my brain didn't put 2 and 2 together and go, they used to. They don't anymore, particularly not a zombie. So thankfully, I'm very pleased to know that iron farms still continue to function with a drowned in it. However, the audio on drowned is not my favorite. I would actually prefer the zombie gurgle as opposed to the drowned gurgle. It's just not. One sounds like you're gargling after you brushed your teeth, and the other one is just a little too growly. Anyway, but I grabbed a little bit of white wool so I can roughly mark out 150 blocks that I can sort of keep my place. What I'm using for a pattern in this particular instance will be onto a website called stitchfiddle.com, and it allows you to create cross-stitch or knitting crochet patterns from, or other as they put it, but from photos or your designs or from scratch or whatever your fancy is. So I managed to pull up a picture I like of the cover of a book by Ellis Peters called A Rare Benedictine, and it's the story of Brother Cadfael. So they had a nice cover that really summarizes his 3 stages of life, and I figured that might be a good one. Other thing I need to throw down is a bed. Now I've got my beacon with me because I wanted to try and find the most optimal spot for me to put it after I've laid out the big square, so I can keep running back and forth a little bit, because I have a bad habit of leaving it in the wrong spot. Yeah. And that's the summary, I guess. You may see on the screen that I've got a VTuber character going. I initially started that as a confidence piece because I wasn't super happy. 1, 2, 5. Happy with being on camera. I wanted to stop that. I've actually been, I've been actually doing it without that the last week or so, It's just that for some reason I could not fathom. My NVIDIA broadcaster just refused to see my EPACam webcam software off my phone today. So I figured rather than fight it and delay or cancel the stream over it, I would just go back to the VTuber for the day. So sometimes it does a few really weird things, like when I just grab a sip of my coffee, it looks at the mouth and goes, "It's open," and thinks that I'm scared. So weird things happen like that. 2, 3, 4, 5. Gonna be pretty big. Oop. 4, 5. Counting with Delenn, such unriveting content. 30, 2, 5. Enjoy your lurk, and thank you very much for dropping by. Or, you know what we don't have? We don't have Spotify playing. That would explain a lot. It's really quiet when I do that. Okay, are we hearing Spotify? I think so. Yes, okay. That's a little bit better. It's chill, but it's meant to be happy stuff, so we'll just see how that goes. Right. Let's see. Where did I go with this? I don't think I'm gonna have enough space. That's not good. 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Holy cannoli, this is gonna be big. Wow, okay. That's not gonna work there. Now, scaling it down to get it smaller so that I can actually build it in a smaller space, unfortunately takes out enough of the detail that you really can't even see what's going on. And now I'm thinking, where should I put it? One way or the other, I'm going to have to terraform an awful lot of space. Huh. I may have to shelve that idea for now. That stinks. What's the plan for the day? Okay. It's 50. 40, 50. So that's 50, so I would need it 3 times that size. Which is not going to fit over here at all. Wow, okay. Back to the drawing board. We have another plan. So instead... Oh well. That's okay. Clean up, clean up. 1, 3, 4. There. Alrighty, Roo. What do I have for black? You'll see I've got in storage for black stone materials. Let's take any feathers. Right. While I'm thinking out loud, I'm going to make a run to the shop and just see how things are going over there. There's a way. Then bring the bottles up here, why not? Okay, this one can go in here, on there. Let's get the beacon put away before I do something stupid and lose parts of it. Okay. every time I build the beacon I need a bed, so I'm just going to leave that there. Remember what the hopper was for. What it was for, I don't need it anymore. Oh, that's a funny place to put it. Alright. We can get the beacon back into safety. Wool away for now. Need 3 boats. 3 boats is a bit much. I have 4 actually, there's 1 in the box, okay. What we got here? That's probably worth dropping off. I always seem to need my goodies box wherever I go, so that's okay. This dragon egg, Beacon Street, totems, random shulker boxes. Wrong spot, it's gonna bug me. So let's take a visit back to the shopping district and see whether or not the creepers have left my house alone, or my shop alone. We'll see what happened there. Alright, sleep. Nope, no sleep. Crits. Do I have extra? Oh. Yes, okay, we're good. Alright. It's a shame that that's so big, but I mean, it's going to take some major terraforming to take stuff down. Which is fine. I mean, we can back and do some of that. It's just that, I'm going to decide if I want to do that one. I'm betting I don't have much for black stone material, so I may have to go mine up some of that if I want to change projects over to a bike for Father Brown instead. I'll have to see about that. There's a number of other things I was looking at, like I was looking at whether or not I could build a Maltese falcon, but like just a statue. Unfortunately, that's once again dark material, so it should take a bit more mining out here. Doable, but I originally wanted to start with something that I already had the materials for, because the idea was there and the materials were there and space was not, apparently. On the bright side though, I guess if I did a whole lot of terraforming just to flatten stuff out, while it would look artificial, oops, that's not bright. While it would look very artificial, I would end up having plenty of dirt and stone and so on and so forth to be able to fill holes under the raid farm, I guess. I'm not short of that by any means, but it never hurts to have a little bit more. Ready room. Let's see what we got going. Map is growing. Bridge. Thunder tree. Okay. Greenwood. Aquarium. Not marked yet. Oh, the Thunder Mountain. Oh, yes. That's a great way to go think. I might actually have to go for a ride. Let's hit the bookshop first, and then we'll go for a ride on Thunder Mountain before we head our way back and probably start chopping up dirt. You are here. Yay. Welcome to here. Are we there yet? Can we be there, and we can be there, and we can be there. Yes, we are there. I love doing that to my kids. Like, well, you need to specify the there you're talking about. Otherwise I can say yes from the moment we walked out the door. Are we there yet? Yes. I've done it to them a couple of times on a circular hiking route. Are we on our way back yet? Yeah, technically. From the moment you stepped out the door, you were on your way back. Let's have to be careful about what time it is, because I've blown up the corner of my shop a couple times now. One was not my fault, the other one was definitely my fault, so I have to be careful on my timings. Alrighty. Let's open her up. And we'll head in. And And this is what I wanted to just put some stuff away. Sure, that's the one. Paper first, get that out of the road. Probably should have checked for more before I left. Oh well. I never remember which one I put these in. Nope. This one. There we go. No, not those. These. Right. Others. Oh, whoops. That's dumb. Wanted 16s. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 5. Oh. Let's just put them in the box. No, we can't. That. There was a reason at the time, but nobody in their right mind really needs gazillion feathers. And I don't think I actually ever put pricing on the stuff in here. I should have, but I didn't. But it's all just generically as stacked materials, so that's fine. Beans in here. Oops, not 8s. Bean. 1. That one. Bean. Bean. Correct fingers, please. Morning. Okay. So the idea with this space is, of course, as you can see, there's an enchanting table, so it's a bit of an optional enchanting space. Did that wrong. Go. In behind the wall is where you'll find the wall to my right. All the bookshelves is where you will find a pseudo shop of books that are pre-enchanted. So yeah, we'll go down there in just a second because I need to check, unfortunately, every one of the boxes. Where did I put the ink sacks? There. Beans as well, right? You know, we're almost at another stack. Corner. This one down in the corner. Turn these, their former lack of glory. But yeah, so I wanted to make it basically the mystery of the Department of Mysteries is, in short, if you are low on the supplies you need to be able to do some enchanting, then you can do it. However, if you don't need it, then obviously, you know, you can head to the next room and grab what you want. So that's the idea. You know, or if you're in a hurry or whatever. But the pricing isn't great. I mean, it's 1 each or something, 1 diamond, I believe, each book. And the logic is just that it's like your corner 7-Eleven or whatever, that it's more of a convenience than anything profitable, because it's really all that it's for is the exercise. I've never built redstone doors, so I got the chance to learn, and that's what it was about. Come on, split. These are in 8s because in most cases, once you've got enough once you've got enough levels, you don't really, or not levels, bookshelves, you really don't need to have, what's the word? Ton of lapis, that's what I'm trying to go with. Wow. 1, 2, 3. I forgot to pick up more of these before I left. That's okay. We've got a few. Usually you only need like 1 or 2 levels to be able to tip yourself over the top if you want to go with that. But I called it Department of Mysteries because when you enchant something, it's sort of a mystery what it's going to offer you. And still missing the pieces for that one, so we'll have to finish that up later. But yeah, these just all have generic whatever I can put on them enchantments just for the enchanted armor reference. Okay, let's go in here and go to the second page. It opens the door. Then you can see we've just got books, and I've got excess what do you call them? Barrels in that spot, but I'm not too bothered by that because they looked pretty cool. I tried it with all bookshelves and it looked kind of tacky. The missing is not me. It's that somebody sold, or I sold the book and then collected the diamond, but didn't come back with the replacement book yet. Okay, and I'm assuming no sales. It doesn't look like it. So we do have a couple items we're missing, but mostly we've got just about everything you could possibly want. Now these were all obtained from the villagers in that trading hall, and they were not zombified and cured. No sales today, that's okay. Got the book. And the room in the back is called the restricted section, just a Harry Potter reference, because I'm a fan of that IP as well. Alright. Well, if those in work meetings need it, I do have closed captioning available, so I don't think I have a whole lot that you're going to miss, but I try to include the chat on the screen and have closed captions available so that if you get stuck in a meeting and have the opportunity to, just put stuff on in the background, that's totally fine. But if you don't, that's totally fine as well. I still appreciate that you dropped in and around your workday meetings anyways. Okay. But I think I'm still pretty happy with this one. We've got armor stands. I should put heads on them. I just don't have anything other than like villager trader heads or clobbered villagers at the moment, and I'm not really comfortable with using those on here right now. At some point I'll probably ask a couple of server mates if they want to, chop off my head or whatever, but we'll see. Being it's late at night, down the bed and sleep it away. Yeah, we can go on the roller coaster. The roller coaster looks good at night, so I'm told, but not in the rain, so I don't really want to do that. Time for a roller coaster ride, because we have a few buddies following that I really don't like. And we'll be sufficiently far away. One of our server mates did a really, what's the easy way to get there? Really grand roller coaster design up top, and I keep forgetting the easy way to get there, so we go up and up and up until I find the signs. And I do have to be careful here because, of course, they've got the snowier snow just off the path, and I've found out the hard way a couple times. And, yeah, snowier snow does not like me. There's some. Or was some. Let's go back up. Wonder, does it still have the sign? Yep, there's a sign over here. Thunder Mountain! You can totally catch the Disney reference, right? I love the way it starts when you go in here. Oh, actually, because I can and not do anything major, let's try have some fun with this. Don't think I've done it in complimentary. Try that today. As you can see, I've been playing with shaders just a little bit. We have a few choices. I figure if I've got a machine that can handle it, then I'm going to play with it for all it's worth. Sometimes it backfires and might get a little bit choppy, so apologies if it does. It usually works as long as I'm not running too much chaos in the background. Done. Done. Okay, that's good. What have we got for resource packs today? Compliance ought to do. Yeah, I think that'll look great. Did I miss anything on the compliance pieces? Nope, I think I'm good. Done. Back. Alrighty. Now we're gonna go in and head through the lineup. I love it. The lineup with nobody in it. I'll have to send him a little note and say, hey, you know, it might be kind of fun to jokingly put in a couple of armor stands or something to have people in your lineup. It looks kind of like rope drop first thing in the morning and you're the first one there. So, yeah, the roller coaster was built by our buddy Stoner Miner, and you can see a couple of his heads in here. And I love this little start and end system because you can see when you hop off the carts, they come out and they go through it, a little collector thing to go back into the ride, so it's sort of neat. Let's pull this one, hop on, and here we go. Apologies if you don't like flashy things. There's a little bit of that going on in here. Flashy lights that set you off, then yeah, please be careful. We'll make our way into some caves. Oh, he's got some dioramas going now. That's awesome. So most of this cave is relatively spawn resistant, but not all of it is spawn proof. So there's a very, very slim chance that we'll find like a skeleton who wants to shoot us or something like that. Normally it's just jank like zombies, or you know, the odd time you might see a creeper, but we've thankfully got enough speed that there's no way the creeper's gonna get set off. I never know where to look with this thing because it's such a great ride. Every time I go I see something different. Actually, sometimes if I'm bored, I'm not gonna do it on camera today, but sometimes if I shouldn't say bored, enjoying myself, just a relaxation in the afternoon, I'll ride this roller coaster more than one. I'll ride the roller coaster more than once, and I'll use a different texture pack during the ride each time. I really do think the underwater bit's probably my favorite part. He said he really was trying to reference Disney with the lineups in the way that he designed them, and but so a lot of this was a bunch of this was hand dug from the existing cave area, but there were portions of it where he actually had to build it up and terraform it himself, both inside and out. So I don't know how much is actually an added cave, or how much, or whether it was just built on an existing cave that he had to clear out a chunk of. Because I mean, technically, if you cleared out enough of the spaghetti cave stuff around, you could get yourself a space this big. But I really quite like the way it's got the twists and turns, and what's quite notable, for me at least, is the fact that a lot of rides, not a lot of rides, a lot of Minecraft moving around, both playing and watching other people's videos and streams, good quantities of side-to-side motion really quickly or whatever can, sometimes even flying, can make me feel motion sick during the game. But for some reason, the roller coaster does not, and I don't know why, because if I could figure out what that was, I would use that solution for just about everything I watch, because it would be nice not to be sick when I'm watching other people's work. Uh-oh. That's not good. I wonder if that's a new addition or not. Yeah, I think that's a new addition, the lava thing. Okay. Interesting. I'm really not sure how far it's going. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to backtrack the whole thing, or if it's going to dump me off in a different direction at some point, or maybe it already has and I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, it's always a challenge to figure out where to look with this thing, so that's why sometimes you see the view out the rear. That's actually another thing I've done too, is in real life, sometimes when I get the option of a roller coaster, if I've ridden it forwards and it wasn't a mega excitement, or I enjoyed it, but I mean, I want less predictability of when the drops and jumps and whatever are coming, then I will. Then in that case, I will sometimes request to get the back car, so you don't really know when things are coming, and you just gotta get whipped around the end. Or in some cases, some of the roller coasters will actually offer a car at the very end that points the opposite direction. Okay, so I'm having a suspicion then that the lava thing was a mistake, because we were getting bounced in the opposite direction, because one normally would drop in at that sea lantern. So I may... Uh-oh. This is not good. But I may have to hop out and see where we go from there, if there's a way around that section. The road of this roller coaster definitely does keep changing from time to time, and I don't know if it's an intention to keep it interesting for riders to ride multiple times, or if it's just that the creator has come up with more and more ideas each time. Just wants to add this or add that, but yeah. So we're headed towards the lava. And I'm hopefully going to, or when we get outside, I'm hopefully going to remember to grab my pickaxe and try and clear out that other minecart. If not, we'll hop out of this one. And then off camera I'll have to backtrack and find it, so I can pull it out for him. Here we are. Yeah, okay, it is a dead end, so that's not... So it looks like he's still... Yeah, he's still working on it. I'm gonna do, actually, steal this cart temporarily. And hop down here. See, there's something on the other side yet. Server restarts. 5 minutes. Okay, that's fine. Me up here. Have something on the other side yet. Yep. He's still working on the crossbeam section, but let's just see what we can do. This. See where it goes on this side. Looks like he's just building some more excitement into the return, which is fine. This is kind of neat because it's actually just a bubble elevator. But it is a little bit more flashy for those that aren't a fan of that part of it. And it dumps you out. And then you can actually watch the cart go up. It goes around the top and down and gets popped back into the system. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I really quite like that. And after sunsets, this is where we get dumped out. This is your sort of exit door. It doesn't have a grand exit road yet. So, I guess I'm going to head... What time is it? Okay. I'm going to see if I can get back to the... what's the word? To the base before I actually have to do a restart. Over restart. And then we'll take a quick Lego break. Oh, I guess I should check my mail. No, there's not usually much anything in there. Check it later. Yay. Down this side, I don't really relish having everybody yell at me today. There we go. And back again by the train system. So we keep saying we're going to put it in trees or telephone posts or some sort of silliness. Maybe something more to look at, but my route's actually not that very long, so... Not that very long? Not that long? Too bad. I believe the central station is set up for 27 different train car routes. Or, well, minecart routes, I guess. And, yeah. There's a lot of stuff. Yeah, I really should name you at some point, but I'm worried about getting you dead if I try to take you through the portal. I don't know who got you through in the first place, but I'm glad somebody helped me with that, and then like by bringing a bunch of horses for a group event, and then after that I've never been able to get one through the portal back successfully. Killed him multiple times. Let's just get up to the top here, so I know where things are. You can see it's kind of getting janky of all the shaders and whatnot, so I'm just going to shut those down. Option off. Pardon me. Done. Back to game. Okay. Restarting in 1 minute. So, looking at the map one more time. Trying to decide where do I want to put that great big thing, because 150 is a lot. Now, we built the raid farm off to the right, which basically means, though, that this whole area is a patrol zone. I'm not super fan, but it is what it is. Down here we had a ruined portal that I've taken out, so that's... We know that zone. This is all just trees. But... even though it's trees, it looks relatively flat. Probably. I could go way over there, but that's very disconnected. Oh, the answer got made for me. So, time for a Lego break. We are going to be right back, and I will see you in just a minute. Alright, so crossing my fingers that this is working. I'm just kind of looking over my shoulder here. Pardon for the sleeve in the image. So today we are still working on our Fluffy encounter, Hogwarts Fluffy encounter, and we are working a bit more on the roofing of the main building now. So, where did I put my thing? Oh, not that one. This one. Alright. As some say, now for something a little different, right? There. Okay. Alright. So first piece we need is a long section and a little partial roof, and they're just going to sit right on top of one another. And rinse and repeat with two more, which I don't even know why they would give you that as a separate step. Why not just tell me about all three at once, please? Okay, then we have a couple of wedges. They just sit on the ends. Oops, 1 and 2. And while we're doing that, actually that's fine. Okay. This, just a couple of 2 by 1 by whatever default used to be. Oops. On the inside, on the outside. 1 block gap. Then they have a couple of 2 little flat strips, right? Flat strips, that's such a technical word, huh? Alright, let's just see if there's more complex steps. Yes, there is. So,
I think I will pause it here, jump back to the other side and see if the server has restarted. And if anybody would like to see more Lego, please do feel free to redeem those points, and we can go for another Lego step or two. See you on the other screen in just a moment.
We're back. I did not hear anything weird when I landed, so hoping the sound came back too. Looks like it did, but yeah, it's there. It's just not super loud. That's good. All right. So one more shot. Still torn on where to put it. I think if I go down in this direction and just take down those mountains, there's far less deforestation required. There may be a cave of some sort in here, but I think that that's something we could manage. And it also spreads out the base a little bit because I've got this sort of as one end. I don't necessarily want to crowd everything in super tight. I mean, 150 took us most of the way, or 50 took us most of the way across to about the... Yeah, it's pretty big, so I don't think it'll fit on this section here. Whereas if I start on this part, then start to the southeast of the base, then have a bit more space to extend and extend and extend if I need to. The other perk is I'd still be in the savannah, which would mean that I would not necessarily need to worry about rain on my head a whole lot. And that's just annoying when I work with it, but also, I guess, the disadvantage, though, by having rain on my head means I'm more likely to get Enderman visits. 6 of one, half dozen of the other, and depending on how big I build it, I will get really close to the raid farm, so I may have illagers and pillagers harassing me, so it's kind of a tough one. I'm torn between the left side with trees and the right side without. Let's see, or I could go to the northeast. That's plains, but I have to take a whole lot down. And I know there's caves and ravines in here. No pressure to answer, but any suggestions, chat? Any particular direction you would like to see it built? Wow, I totally felt like I was riffing off a different streamer there. Not intentional. You guys are more than just chat. You guys are my buds. In any case, one way or the other, first thing I'm going to need is to go find myself some of that wool. And B, get it out of storage, it's probably easier. Whichever spot we go with, we have to mark it out in terms of how big this thing's going to be. I mean, I could always go vertical. That would be actually different. I wonder how tall that would be. Actually, that would be monstrous. These statues we have on the west side of our base were about 54 layers high. Might have been 74, I can't remember. I know it ended in 4, and it was either a 5 or a 7. So it might be 54 layers high, but if we're talking 150, that would be ridiculous. Ridiculous wall, so maybe not quite such a good idea. Okay, one of the concerns if I went northeast of the base in this zone is that not only do I have the caves and whatnot to deal with, but there's a lot of these water features and stuff that I have to worry about filling in or flattening off. I could float things on string, I suppose. That's a possibility. It's kind of like playing Risk in a weird sort of way. I never really know which direction I want to go. Let's just... Sorry for being so indecisive. Part of me just wants to put off to the southwest in these trees, but I have a lot of trees to take down. I don't even know if that would fit. Because we look this way, and I don't think that's 150 blocks. Just, silly me, let me just measure, because I've got the map. Why not? If I started roughly here, to write that down. Seven. And I go this way. Ballpark. Where is it? There. Here. 2883. Barely. Barely, okay. Yep. Going over there. So a lot of tree chopping to come. Apologies for those of you that don't like that. But, yeah, makes it a project I can work on for a while. Right. Oh, we'll certainly need the beacon set up for that. Do I have... I've got ender chests. Chests, plural, which is good. I figured out an on-the-ground visualization, and I forgot to pick up the wool. Shake my head. My head, shake my head, and shake my head. Wait. 144, yeah, that should be enough. Oh, I can't count. I need another one. Hello, kitty. So as soon as I can get the frame mapped out of how big this thing's going to be, then I can start putting in the beacon to figure out how much I have to take down. I think what I'm going to do is mark it out first on Journey Map and then in the real world. Because stuff like this could be a bit of a problem. So yeah. Myself out of the road here so that I'm not liable to be chopped dead in 10 seconds. Alright, where are we? If I start here... No, want that. Go there. And we make a... on. Waypoint. Create waypoint. Sure. Top. Oops, top. And spell. Top right corner. Okay, so that would be 27, 25. Okay. So then the next one. 8, 75. Top left. Oh, and Z. 6. Down the bottom right corner. Need more coffee. That should get me there. Top right corner. The overworld on. Save. Alright. Then the next one should be roughly, where is it here? 2875. Oh, wait a minute, that's easy. Pick the waypoints. New. Okay, we got 2875 and 1866. And then we call this top left corner. Save that. Then we have new one. And we have bottom left corner. Oops, nope, that's not the one I want. Bottom right corner. And that is 1866, 2016. 2016, 2725, yep. That. One more new one. Bottom left corner. The 2875 and 2016. Oops, not that much. 2016. Save. Okay. Those. So does that look right, roughly? Top left? Whoa. I went the wrong way in my math. The bottom left and bottom right are incorrect. So 1866 is not the other way. Try that. Bottom left is wrong. Blah, 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 blah. Bottom right. Edit that. Nope. 1716. Save that. Does that look right? Yes. Okay. This one. The points. Bottom left. Edit. 1716. Save. Close. That would have me going right across the water. So I think I'm going to move them all. Start with the top right. Right. Edit. Let's try and make this 40. Save. Left. Edit. $35, 40, another 15, 75, 85, 90. How does that look? I went the wrong way. Okay. I have to take 30 off that. $30, 10. Save. Hit 60. Save. Close. Those two look right. Yes, that should bring the bottom one over enough that I don't need to be in the water. Okay, great. And take the bottom left corner. Edit. Take off 15. See? Save. And we save. Oops. This one. 10. Save. Close. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. I don't think we were in the middle of anything, so that'll be a good spot to just tear out. I could probably even leave the trees all around it. Right. This one. 2711. 2861. That should be right. This one's wrong, so top right. Oh, things are going janky city. Okay. Well, this one needs to move by 5. Let's do anything with that. Excellent. All right, well, let's start over there and just make sure we've got our 100 and whatever 50. Right, yes, there we go. Push on the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and torch. Beauteous. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yep. 2. Let me up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 3, 4. Tree is in the middle. Bye bye tree. I'll have to take out more, but this is a good start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's no, it's not a torch, but yeah. We have a really weird one. Okay. Wow. Okay, I'm going to play with shaders purely to force the reload, and then I'll turn them off again. I have never seen it do that to me on screen before. Off. Okay, we have text back. Yay! Good place to start. Done. 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 Back to game, and it's too much into the nighttime for my comfort. Alright. So, I'm gonna risk this again. And where is... Oh. Okay, and so top right and bottom right should be the same. Or not.
Hello.
Hello, Tis for Truth. Yes, Cadfile is in the mystery books. So the books by Ellis Peters. I'm going to be doing a carpet art based on the book A Rare Benedictine, because one of the covers shows the 3 stages of Cadfile's life, where Cadfile was a crusader to begin with, and then he becomes a monk in charge of the herbs, which also allows him to be a healer. So those are the 3 chunks. And good morning, Tis for Truth. Glad to see you. So if I can remember, which one was right? Correct. This one, I think. I did my math again. There we go. That top right corner says 12, 11. Okay. We should be good. 27, 11. So this one's the wrong one. Okay, that's not 12? What did I do there? 6. Waypoints. Bottom right says 2710 to 2716. Oh, I know that's wrong off the bat. Oh, that's not right. Can't count. 2710, those, and top right says edit 710. Huh. They stay the same, it's just the fact that we actually have elevation that makes them look different. Okay, no worries. Yeah, so Tis for Truth, have you read any of the Brother Cadfile mystery novels? I'm quite curious. Which actually reminds me, I meant to ask you guys a question. I'm going to try and see if I've got a question for everybody every day. No guarantees I'm going to remember, but today's question was simply asking people about how they prefer to start their day. So what's your favorite way to start your day? And that'll be probably 2 answers, because if you have a workday routine versus a weekend routine, You have read them. Yay! To be perfectly honest, most of the people I talk to have never read them. And they're like, what's that? And while I had no problem with that, it does make the referencing a little difficult. Yeah, it's been a while. I collected them, and I'm still in the process of getting all of the Derek Jacobi covers, but we'll get there. Okay. Coffee. Yes, coffee. Coffee is one of my favorite ways to start the day. But even before I do that, I do use a snooze button. However, my snooze button is actually intentionally allowing me to have a couple minutes in bed. So I wake up to the alarm, and then I can stretch and kind of stare at the ceiling and yeah, just sort of think a little bit before I actually have to get out of bed, which sometimes allows me to think about where do I put my shirt I wanted, think through what I wanted to wear, rather than having to set it out the night before. And then I can get up when the alarm goes off. 1, 5. But I was just curious how everybody else starts. So does your day always start with coffee, whether it's a weekday or a weekend? And so is it coffee while you're on the run? Or do you get a chance to sit and enjoy your coffee? And there's another question. For those of you that don't start with coffee, do you choose something else? Like, do you have, prefer fruit juice or tea or some other type of drink? Or is it just, do you bother with a drink in the morning first thing? Or that sort of thing? Yes, always coffee. Okay, well, given that, I'm a coffee fan too. But what sort of coffee do you like? Like, do you prefer, say, drip, percolated, cold brew? Heaven forbid. I'm not the cold brew camp. And they have 2 cups, one where you get to sit and enjoy, one more on the go. Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Oops. 4 or 5. Yeah, I like to do that sort of thing if I could have the opportunity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Should be seeing. Oh, there it is. If I had the time to sit for the first cup, that's my preference. But then, yeah, I'd like to use the second one as my cup on the go. I think it's just I like warm drinks generally all the time, even in the summer. 2, 4, 5. So I don't always get the chance to sit still with it, but I really like it. Ah! You love cold brew but use a French press at home. Is it partly because of the timing required for cold brew? Or is it just French press is kind of nice in general? Now, I admit I'm spoiled. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In that 4 or 5, I don't actually have to have an out-of-the-home job. But also, 4 or 5, that Fantastic Sherlock Fox will make my coffee for me in the morning. We have a coffee machine that does its thing. But my favorite coffee mug is actually one of those double-walled, vacuum-insulated Yeti brand mugs. I got it from Fantastic Sherlock Fox for my birthday a few years ago. And so it's my absolute favorite coffee mug, but it keeps everything ridiculously hot, and I've never been a super hot drink person. I like very warm, but it never gets into the realm of hot. So he can pour it at 6:30 in the morning or something, or whenever he's up. And as long as he leaves it venting, like with the lid off sort of thing, then I can drink it by like 8. Whereas when we used to go to Starbucks, there used to be one in our neighborhood that was worth walking to in the morning. And when we used to go to Starbucks in the morning, we had one of the Starbucks refillable mugs each, and then we'd always order whatever it is with light ice or room for ice. 4 or 5. And the reason for that, of course, was just that neither of us liked it super hot. He had to drink his right away, and even though I didn't have to drink mine in a rush, I just never really liked it, the temperature it comes out. Whereas conversely, my mother-in-law is the opposite. She couldn't get her Keurig machine to be hot enough, except when it's straight out of the machine. And even then, it was far too quick for her to cool off. So after I discovered that my coffee mug keeps things relatively nuclear, then we bought her one for her birthday, and she absolutely loves it. I'll be honest, I've never learned to do French press right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what I mean by that is, like, we've had opportunities to do French press when we've gone camping and such. 1, 2, 3, 5. But the French press, I like it. 2, 3, 4, 5. But I have a bad habit of making the mistake of putting in the wrong size grounds. Or including, if you get the correct size grounds, putting in too much of the dust that's too fine. And then the French press doesn't filter it out. So I end up with, understandably gritty coffee, which is not ideal. Huh. Let's see, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I wonder if I'm going to see that one. You like it, and then you should have put a torch on it. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, well, there's another question. So you French press, but in your world, does your French press require a specific blend? There's the other one. I mean, some people are all about the Brazilian coffee. Some are about Kona coffee from Hawaii. Some people love the, I've seen people liking Ecuadorian coffee or Colombian coffee. Do you need a specific blend or a specific shade, as in light coffee versus dark? And that's the other thing I used to like from Starbucks. Is up here, they used to have one called Light Note, and I quite enjoyed that, but I would let it be brewed fairly darkly from the Light Note. So that's my question, is what do other people like? 5. There's a million ways to do things in the morning, and it's always nice to hear different people have different things, because sometimes people come up with wild suggestions. They don't have to be out of band, just something that I'd like to try. 2, 3, 5. 5, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then should be finally 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 under the. There we go. Okay. So if I look at that overhead, this is quite a long way to that, and would not have fit over on this side. But I think I'm going to like it once I get all the trees down. It's just going to take some time to do. I may actually ask one of my other fellow streamers from Dadcraft's Bedrock server for some tips and tricks on speed tree cutting. But definitely the beacon will help here. Okay. Is it nighttime already? Really? Wow. Let's start going another direction. 1, 3, 4, 5. Grind fresh every morning. Ooh. Raven's Brew and Blend. I don't think I've heard of that one. I'm not sure if it's available up in Canada, but that's.
And now for something completely different.
Oh, Lego! Okay, so what I'm actually going to do with that one, I've got some. Let's box ourselves in. 1, 2. Ooh. 1, 2, 4, 7. There we go. Alright, so Fantastic Shop Fox has redeemed Lego. We shall do some Lego. I'll see you guys over there in just a second.
We're on to the next step of Lego. Pardon me, sorry. I was at Scout Camp this weekend with the kids, and so I'm still got a little bit of a froggy throat from dealing with all the campfires we had out there. I love it, but it sometimes takes a couple of days for me to recover. Okay, so on this next step, so now we've got a frame bit. They want a couple of decorative little arch pieces, little 1x1 with a little roughing, and that fits the gaps that we left earlier. We're starting to see a little bit of rise to the roof. Who makes the Raven's Brew and Blend? I'm curious about that one, because it's always fun to try new ones. Strangely enough, we actually are enjoying right now at home the McDonald's coffee. And I think, for myself at least, part of the reason with that is, so as I mentioned before, years ago, people and their dog, loved Tim Hortons coffee. And then, in a financial, everybody wants to save a buck thing, they changed who their supplier was. And the coffee they have now is nowhere near as good as it used to be. But it turns out that lo and behold, McDonald's took up that supply contract from the original Tim Hortons coffee, and so now it's far, far better than it used to be. So I never used to like McDonald's coffee. They still have a bad tendency to burn it sometimes, but if you get their blend and then do it up yourself at home, really nice. Okay, now we need a couple of little 2x1s. We're just building up. We're starting to make what do you call it, a wall, I guess, rising up. If I put things in the right spot, that might help. So we've got some 2x2s. That's what I was missing. Put the 2x2s on, it makes the 2x1 locating a lot easier. There we go. And same on the other side. Alright, so we've got a clip of some sort going on inside. Not sure what we're going to be doing with that, but well, I guess we'll find out soon enough. The last step for this round is going to be a couple of L-shaped little pieces that just go right on top of the walls further. I'm just going to see if we have any weird stops to the other side. Nope. They start with a new piece on the next round, so yeah, this is where we will pause and head back to the game. So I shall see you guys in just a moment.
And now for something completely different.
I just can't get enough of that sound. But this is definitely completely different. And as you can probably see from the mini map in the top right corner, I don't think it shows on... Oh yeah, it does. So we have ourselves a few neighbors, and I made a mistake when I built the little hole. That's great for protecting me from the other critters, but unfortunately the drawback to that is that by only making it 1 by 1 space inside, I did not include enough to protect me from, to put enough space down for a bed. So we get, oh, baby zombie, I hate that sound. Blah. And spiders that don't like me. Okay, well, that's okay. Let's see. Since I'm the only one on the server, I can't politely ask someone else to sleep for me, so that's okay. We will just have to deal. I mean, isn't that the name of the game? Oh no, it's Minecraft, not Zombie Slam. Slam.
Words are hard every day of the week. Yes, Ralph.
Words are always hard. That way. Alright. So at least if I clobber them, I'll have to go away, but the spider will be less bothersome because he's a troublemaker. Where are you, you little monster? One, two, three, four, five. Okay, I have to leave that one alone. Oops. I really don't need leaves, but that's okay. Thank you for setting me on fire. Hey, you, go away. Alright. Let's put a few more blocks in place. We can get the next round going. Where did we go? Way. So we had 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I'm in a tree. That's interesting. I might have to go back and clip that one. That's just cheesy and hilarious all at once. One of the things that I had forgotten about entirely, and my brain's going, why does that look so funny? Before I realized what it was, is that was a creeper, but I also have a pack on with my... Oops, nope. I have a pack on with my resource pack that gives me alternate skins for some of the entities. I didn't put two and two together that it was also changing the creepers. As you can see, it blew a lovely little hole in the tree. And I'm going to have to flatten out this section just so that we can do our work later on. But do I have any loose blocks in the hole I can retrieve? Okay, we'll come back and fix that, I guess. That's okay. Blew up some of the tree above, too. No floating trees, please? Alright, I think we... Oh, nope, got some floating tree. So I think I need to pay a little more attention to my corner screen, top right, because that would have solved me knowing about that guy coming in advance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh well. Oblivious. That's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have to decide what Y level I want this stuff at. Like the picture, because either I'm doing a lot of filling in or I'm doing a lot of digging out, so I have to decide which is which. 2, 3, and of course it's gonna be in the tree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At least that gives a little bit of excitement, I suppose. 3, 4, 5. Because it actually got me to shout something. Yeah, that was quite the jump scare for me. I'm sorry it was a jump scare for you as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here I am prattling on about stuff, and then, lo and behold, the ghost creeper shows up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I refer to that one as a ghost creeper when it uses the alternate skin that's a whitish color, or almost an ash color, and it just throws me a little bit. 2, 3, 4, 5. But it really did take me a second to figure out what on earth is that. And then I was like, creepers! And as soon as I figured that out, it was way too late. 4, 5. Although I did not expect to survive and be sitting on top of a tree. That was interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you were telling me about your coffee, if I remember correctly. And I was asking who makes that Bruin blend. Is that the company? Or Raven's Blue, I guess. Raven's Brew. I'll take a look and see if that's available in Canada. That sounds pretty neat. 1, 2, 3, 5. Do you know what sort of coffee is in that one? Because I mean, we've got a couple of neat roasters near us that do custom blends as well. So if I really wanted to try it, I could actually go for something like that. 1, 2. You're in my way. Yeah, that's worth the clip. No, boring, boring, boring. Kaboom! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. I mean, this is, counting with Delenn. Can we count to 5? Today it's 6. No. 1, 2, 3. Although I probably should be wandering along every few of these and putting torches. That would be, sensible. 5. And then, of course, I think about it right as we get into a tree. Hold on. This way and that way. 1, 2, 5. No idea if that's going to be helpful or not. Bottom corner. Are we actually going to be in the same line? Oh, maybe. Did you get audio just in time? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're very welcome for the Lego step. 2, 3, 5. I keep forgetting one of the other people that likes the Lego and Harry Potter Lego is actually Drama Smith, who's got a Discord, and I keep forgetting to post on there because she's the only one of the Discords I'm a part of where I would post the fact that I'm having a stream, but I keep forgetting because all the other ones use Autobots to scrape it for me. Just in time. Well, that must have been fun. Are you awake yet? That'll go well with your coffee. So, yeah. Oopsie daisy. That's okay. I mean, this is one of those episodes where really I could probably rename it Count and Explode. 2, 3, 4, 5. So it was a shame that 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, middle sentence. It was a shame that Stoner Miner's roller coaster was unfortunately full of unsavories at the time. I don't think he needs it to be, fatty free per se, but I was quite worried that I was going to be hitting in one of the slower zigzaggy bits while I was in there and actually have that blow up, because I would feel really, really guilty if that's something like that had happened. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we should be not too far from our post. Minecraft trees, you were so interconnected, it's crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course, in the tree. 5. There we go. Up down the tree. Oh, we're almost there. Where is this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Under... Uh-oh. Here-ish? I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to chop down this tree to find out. Let's see, where are you? Oh, there we go. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got it. There goes another tree. 1, 2, 3. Jeepers. Did I take the best line of trees? I don't know. 4, 5. Pretty weird. And 5. Okay. That one's fine. Now we've got a rough idea how big we're talking. It goes way over there, all the way across the top, and all the way down to the other side. Oh, firmware updates. Firmware updates? Oh, I hate messing with firmware updates because firmware updates don't like me. On the other hand, I need to, catch up on some of the software updates for my iPhone and iPad as well. I was just thinking, Firepower said he was in a meeting as well and was going to lurk. I sort of hope he didn't have audio on when that happened. Oops. Welcome to my stream. That's okay. I gotta go this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and tree. 3, 4. Wait a minute. Did I just start going wrong way? Am I here? Yeah, I did start going the wrong way. Let's finish cutting out that tree, and then I need to actually go east. I need to watch where I'm going. East, east, east. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's have a sleep before we blow ourselves up again. Alright, so we shall have a nice large size, and I'm actually thinking there's no way that I would have a beacon, even if I stuck it in the middle, that would be fast enough. But we'll just have to see. Efficiency might be where it's at. I'm just trying to see here, what's my... Okay, so I'm about as fast on that as I'm going to get. Three, 4, 5. 2, 4, 5. I'm jump scaring myself a little bit now because that white creeper, one of the reasons that he those white ones really get me is because from a distance, or even as they start coming up, the bottom of their feet is still black. So as you see them move, they kind of look a little bit like the birch texture. And that's sort of what threw me just now, is because I looked over, saw this just through the bottom of the leaves and went, oh no, another creeper. I was actually originally planning to put torches on every, like, 15 so I knew where I'm at, but no such luck. Just in that I didn't get organized for that. And so I'd have to count all the way over from scratch, and that's not something I'm going to do today. 3, 4... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Pins. It feels good to be home from the weekend, although I did actually, strange enough, I brought home some award hardware. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. More importantly, my son moved up from our Cub Scout section, and he's going to be moving into the fall in our Scout section. So the gift from the group that he received over the weekend, his hardware, 1, 2, 3, 5, was a Mora branded fixed blade knife. So he hasn't been taught how to use a knife yet. That's one of the things they can do, you know, either on their own or in Scouts. They actually have permits for it. A quick Google of what coffee's in your favorite one, but couldn't find it. Now that makes sense. Syrupy body in a laid-back orchestra of pleasant, earthy, and herbal flavor notes. That's funny. I mean, I like it, but it's funny because it reminds me a lot of the way that, like, wine is described. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because wine often has those fruity notes with a hint of such and such flavor, and dark chewy something or other. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, okay. Well, the earthy concept, I can totally get on board with that. That makes sense. It could actually be a nice relaxing flavor in that sense. 1, 2, 3, 4. By the way, just for clarification's sake, in case anyone hasn't already, the stickers are a popularity thing. Not a popularity thing, that's not the word. I added them because some people enjoy them in other streams. But the other thing is that I have not yet reached the point where I can have follower emotes, where I can put in emotes that you can have for just following the stream. As soon as that is the case, I will add some. But in the meantime, I figured I would let people have access to the stickers for free, as in they don't cost any bits on my channel. And that just allows people to have a bit more fun when they're not able to necessarily use emotes in chat or something like that. I also don't use stream elements for my auto notices, nor do I for my commands. I have flexibility to do other things. The only streamer so far I've noticed that uses the same system I use is Foxy No Tail, and I still have a lot to learn from him, but he's got some pretty cool things he does with StreamerBot, and so that's appealing to me to learn more about what he can do, but it's definitely a very unique and interesting bot system. So if you guys come up with something you would think you'd like to have a command for, don't be afraid to let me know, and potentially redeem the public command option, and we can get that in there so we can make, you know, sounds, videos, noises, whatever activities you would like to have. 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But as you can see, we're going to have a little bit of terraforming to flatten things out. I'm looking across the way, seeing some caves and stuff, so I'm expecting there's probably caves in this hill as well. No, we're not too far from the bottom right corner, though, which is good news. Yes, knowing how to handle a knife is definitely a life skill. 1, 4. And it's definitely different than cooking knives. 4 and 5. Sorry, cooking knives. What I mean by, like, as in, just because somebody can handle a knife in the kitchen doesn't necessarily mean they're great with them in the woods. It is a bit of a shame that misbehavior in our culture has caused us not to be able to have people wandering around with 4 or 5 with their multi-tools with a knife blade on it, or you know, the classic pocket knife and stuff like people used to do back in the day. So that's the case. But on the other hand, we're not in the Old West. We don't all need to have a big utility knife hanging off our hip at any point in time. 2, 4, 5. But so he's quite happy with his. One of the common questions from his year moving up was, "Am I allowed to take it out of the sheath? Can I look at it?" Which sounds like a strange request, but if you consider the fact that they're very stringent on the fact that you need to be supervised doing any activities, and if you're actually to do a knife activity at this age, like at his age right now, because he doesn't have his permit, then he couldn't carry his knife with him. He would actually need to, supposedly, need to turn it in. The scouter who would hand it to him, scout leader, sorry, who would hand it to him in order to do the activity, then they'd have to collect it up again afterwards. And once you've earned your permit, then you're allowed to take care of your own knife and carry it around yourself at camp and stuff. 4, 5. So that was his hardware. He's really proud of that, and I'm pleased. One of the things that sometimes keeps kids coming back is stuff like this. So I mean, gifties are great, and it's one of the things that we build in. But at the younger level, we gave them like a towel. It sounds really weird, but you know, one of those like microfiber pack towels, and they had their name stitched in the corner. 4, 5. So that's a good one for the younger sections. I mean, they're 8 or 7 moving up to 8. 4, 5. If I start talking numbers so much, I'm going to be confusing myself here. The resulting effect of that is that you can't really give them a whole lot of stuff. We used to give them a headlamp, but the thing is, while that would have been a nice tradition to continue, we couldn't because where we live, it got dark enough during the meeting times, over COVID particularly, when we weren't allowed to meet indoors for obviously safety reasons, like health safety. So the kids, just about every single one of them, has a headlamp already. So things just got a little out of whack with that. Next year might be worth it. Be able to hand that group some, but we may have to go with the towels a couple of years, just so that we can cycle through the kids who had to spend extra amount of time outdoors. Now, while outdoors is awesome, when you're 5 to 7 years old, it's actually, in some cases, particularly in the fall and winter, after sundown, it's a bigger pain in the butt than I think it's worth. But that's just personal opinion. But yeah, so we weren't able to give them headlamps as their more useful thing. But and then the older sections, when you're moving up from scouts, you generally by that point have most of your gear. And in some cases, you've been through 2 or 3 rounds of different types of gear. So you've got your favorites, and it's really difficult for the group to figure out something unique to give you. 4, 5. So we went with the water bottles with their name on them. And that was because 1, 2, 3, 4, wrong. But that was because water bottles are one of those things you can never really have too many of them. So it was easy. Yeah. And the hardware I brought is we did overdue awards that had been sort of waiting. And I managed to get, recently I had picked up I think it's the Medal of Good Service in Canada, which sounds fancy and hoity-toity, but it's really a very nice thank you for having put in multiple years of effort in being a scout leader. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, the American systems still call them scout leaders. A lot of other parts of the world still call them scout leaders. In Canada, for some reason, we've changed it to being scouter. I do not know why. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. I can sleep. But anyway, so I picked up the Medal of Merit, and then so that one actually had been several months overdue, apparently, and just had never been awarded. And then we switched group commissioners. So now that we have one who's on top of it, and I swear this person eats, breathes, and sleeps scouting. It's kind of weird. But anyway, because he's so on top of it, then fairly quickly thereafter, and a surprise to me actually, was that I'd got the bar to the Medal of Good Service. So that's the next level up. And the way they do that is you get thank yous registered against your name, but the thank yous, in order to count towards the medals, have to be thank yous with detail in depth for events that you've been involved in or activities you've been involved in. Things like during the COVID period, one of the thank yous was something for like managing Zoom meetings for I can't remember what the numbers were, but something like 15 to 20 5 to 7 year olds, and like if there isn't a range, it was just that was how it came out. And then Zoom meetings for our Cub section as well, which is 8 to 10 year olds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So those sorts of things, the head office and stuff recognize how challenging that is. Because, I mean, everybody knows you can sit your kids in front of a TV and they'll sit and watch if it's busy and mesmerizing, but if you want interactivity, Zoom or Google Meets or whatever online things are not great for kids of that age range. Oh, thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm quite pleased that I brought home that, and it was kind of funny because I've been dragging my feet even notifying friends and family. 4, 5. I guess I miscounted, but that's okay. So I had dragged my feet on notifying friends and family about the fact that I got the first part of it, the medal itself, in the first place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, somehow I'm out by 1. Means I may be out by a whole row at the end. What number is this? 12 and 10. Huh. Whatever. But in any case, yeah, that was my surprise. I'll have to actually, since I'm part of Dadcraft73's Discord, and a lot of other people who watch my channel are as well, I will post a picture over there of it in their off-topic channel. And I'll get the bar attached. Whoa! Go away, skeleton. You coming out of the hole? Suppose not. Okay, well, come here. Where are you? See you. Oh, I do not see you. I'm gonna get a hit or two on one, or find this guy. You're hiding in a hole. Where are you? Probably right underneath me. That's annoying. Oh, okay, well, forget you. Whatever. In any case, Zoom was hard for adults. It was, but that's actually part of what got me started on the streaming front. 2, 3, 4. Encouragement from Fantastic Fox and others simply said, hey, you managed to do this sort of stuff for kids for like a year and a half. And we actually have a half-decent number of them, aside from Scudder's kids, who stayed. Now, by what I mean by half-decent is kind of debatable, actually. But there were some that said, we'd prefer to come back when things are face-to-face, but they said, oh, well, you know, I haven't posted it yet, 'tis for truth, but it will be on Dadcraft73's Discord. So Discord 73. 4, 5. But once I get the picture taken, I can also attach it to my stream ability and bring it up next week. Or not week, sorry, next stream. And I'm going to bet Minecraft stream's probably the best one for that, so it'll be probably Thursday one. 5, there we go. So yeah, that was my surprise one. And I enjoyed it. I still enjoy it. So yeah, but that's what got me started on this whole streaming gig. 2, 3, 4, 5 was that people said, hey, you've done this for the kids, you know, not a whole lot different for the teens that are that are watching Twitch and so on, that you could probably do it. The other thing was that Fantastic Shock Fox had picked up for me my first Stream Deck, a nice little, what, 6 button? I don't know, he'd have to correct me, whether it's 6 or 8 or something. He's got it on his desk now. But in any case, he'd picked up the first one so that I could do cool stuff with Zoom or speed access some of the buttons I needed to, so that when the room got totally crazy, I can shut them up. And so when I had that, it was kind of fun to play with the buttons and stuff and do things, and I play games anyways, so I figured, well, I might as well share what I've got, right? 2, 4, 5. On the other hand, sometimes adults require a deeper level of conversation than kids do, and so you can be really shallow and repetitive with kids, and sometimes they'll still come back for more. Kind of weird. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it'll be in the middle of a tree. Down? Maybe? There's a lot of tree here. There were some really useful leaders. It really helped to not always be on point. We had some that when we were allowed to do limited in-person meetings, they fought to understand the rules of how big our groups were allowed to be, so that we could keep our social distance spacings and figure out the logistics of activities we could do with these young groups while they were still apart. And one of the biggest things that used to annoy me about being face-to-face, and why for a while I actually preferred the Zoom meetings even with the younger kids, was that with the younger kids, sometimes their parents would help keep them on task, so it wasn't a limited number of adults doing so. But other times, they particularly the younger ones, had trouble understanding why they couldn't just go and, like, you know, hug their buddy. 5. And that was frustrating because our group didn't get hit very hard. 1, 2, 2. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. I got that wrong. 5. There we go. But it was really interesting. Yeah, my son's motor, that was super awesome. So one of the Cub group leaders for the 8 to 10-year-old crew actually set up, like, dropped off at everybody's house a little package of, I think it was mostly wire and battery and paper clips and some sandpaper and whatever. And the little kids, as Fantastic Shock Fox is describing there, the kids had to sand up the edges of the wire, so basically strip them, and then connect it to, and then connect the paper clips to the battery. I believe we used masking tape or something. And then they balanced the loop of wire, so they coiled up the wire and then had the 2 ends sticking out, and they balanced that loop of wire 3, 4, 5 on the paper clips. 1, 2, I got 4 again. And if it worked right, it made everything rotate. I think they had a magnet in there too, actually, because that wouldn't rotate without the magnet. It was really kind of neat, because it's the sort of thing where you would do these in person. When you do them online, as I very quickly discovered trying to teach origami to these kids, that things take a lot more time, and I don't understand necessarily why that is, but it's the same, it turns out to be the same science in behind it that we hear about in schools, about why kids don't always learn well from videos and why they need to have a teacher, is that they don't connect necessarily the same way. 1, 2, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're not doing anything different. I mean, we're still interactive with them. We're reacting to their questions. Oh, and we have different angles with the cameras, which is, that was an interesting thing to set up tech-wise. 2, 5. So I've got my Lego desk now, which is actually a completely different desk, but when I was doing origami with our cubs, we needed to actually have 2 different angles. One was straight on, as in, like, straight over top of the work we were doing. I'm, like, miming things and forgetting I don't have my in-person camera today. 3, 4, 5. But we had an over top view like you would have at a cooking demonstration, as well as a front view. And then, of course, you'd still also have to hold it up and turn it over and show them what was going on the backside. And I never thought about it, but a bunch of them started getting things backwards, which actually sometimes is critical when you're doing origami. And it turned out that some of them were making assumptions about what they were seeing that I hadn't expected, in terms of, like, assuming the video was mirrored that they were seeing, but it wasn't. Or they were trying to do things in a mirrored fashion, whereas you could catch them on that if you had been in person. Oh, I left my bed. Oh, fantastic. Now I have to go find the bed. Great. Well, at least I have a trail of breadcrumbs to follow, sorta. Lovely. And let's hope I don't get dead in the meantime. But this way. Where did I put the bed, please? Uh-oh. That's not good. There it is. So yeah, we've had some really interesting stuff going on. That motor model, I guess, was at our house for 8 or 9 months at least after the project. It might even have been more than a year, because my kids, you know, like a lot of the kids are, they're hoarders. They're hoarders, particularly things they've learned or their projects. So I actually still have schoolwork from forever ago. Now I know that's often a mother thing to keep some of the kids' schoolwork. And I do want to keep samples of it, but I can't sort it very well around my kids, and I just haven't put in the effort to do it when they're not here. But if I do that around my daughter, she goes, "Mom, no, you can't throw that out. I have to have that because whatever it is." And then, "No, you can't throw that other thing out because I have to have that for whatever her reasoning is." It can be a little daunting at times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Try and clean up. I'm usually a hoarder. 3, 4, 5. Oh, that'll be interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, no, that's too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah. So while that may sound like I'm going, yay, yippee skippy, look at what I can do, that's just part of the reason I brought any of that stuff up, was to say, hey, here's what I was up to on the weekend. I missed you guys. Like, I really did miss streaming, which is odd, but I was trying to be on the alert for cool stories that had happened or things that I could tell you guys about. And aside from the move-up ceremony, there really wasn't anything major notable. I mean, we did a craft. Our cubs and beavers were working on an air-themed badge, where they had to learn about evaporation and wind. 1, 2. Yeah. And so we made windsock. But I mean, that's one that if you take a look at the WikiHow, it seems simple enough a preschooler or a kindergartner can do it. But we talked about the science behind it and how your sock will actually be pointing in the opposite direction the wind is coming from. And we may have time to do another activity in that theme during a meeting. 4, 5. Sometime in June, but we'll see. We've got some other cool stuff coming up, but the kids would probably enjoy it if they're able to get their air badge. 5. Now, comparison to either what you've heard from friends and family when hey, back in the day I was in Scouts or in Cubs or whatever. The Canadian program has, for the last, 6 years, yes? That's 6 years since it got down to the beaver level, but I mean, they've introduced a new program from the top down for once, which I thought was kind of odd, but anyway. But they've 5 changed up what used to be the equivalent of merit badges or personal interest badges, and now these are called personal achievement badges. I hear you. I see. Oh, where are you? This one set me on fire this time. Seriously? Kind of tired of that. Hey, you. Come here. What? Thank you. And so what that means is, by changing it up, is not only did they rename them... Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, There we go. Not only did they rename them, but they changed the requirements. Now, the requirements used to be checklist style, set out, I wouldn't say in stone, but set out fairly firmly. You do this, then you do that, and then you do whatever. Or you do this list of 6 things, and then you get your badge. Great. These ones, they wanted them to be more flexible, but the resulting effect is you're supposed to get the kids to with a scout leader's guidance and assistance, or even their parents, help them design the badge themselves by having a set number of challenges they're supposed to complete. But what those challenges are and what you have to do for each of those challenges to consider it complete is up to the youth and scout leader combination. 2, 4, 5. Now, personally, I have a couple of beefs with this. I'm not going on a high horse rant or anything, but how that affects things in terms of stuff, for example, like our air badge we were working on the weekend, is it's very much up to interpretation. Which means some leaders in some groups, 1, 2, 5, don't even announce to the kids. 3, 4, yeah. Don't even announce to the kids that that's what they're working on. They just do a bunch of activities as part of their meetings, and then lo and behold, ooh, you got a badge. So there's no consultation and achievement effort in that part of it. So there's no emphasis at all on a skill that Scouts Canada finds very important, which they call the plan, do, review process. Just about everything is supposed to be wrapped around the PDR process. Unfortunately, as you can imagine, not so effective. Okay, what Y level do we want? Trying to decide what Y level do I want here. And I can start from this corner. Put the pull back. Break that. Still put a torch on top. Oops. Come on. There we go. But maybe what I'm best to do, take a look at the... I kind of wish you could hide the ones that are turned off, but that's not the way it works. Right over here. So Z, so we've got Y72. Oh, I keep putting them on 72 because that's where I started with. Okay. Yeah, okay, that's not going to help. Well, this is the 73. Aha. Nope, I'm at 68. Okay. 69. 69 is a weird number. Oh, well, that's fine. That's fine. Weird is in an unusual number. I probably could have gone with like 73 or something. Put a reference to Dadcraft. But it is what it is. Okay, so where are we at? Ooh, we're at quarter after already. We're a quarter past the hour. So now that we've got everything wrapped out, I'm going to go to a clearing spot. I didn't realize I was on and on and on. So normally, for anyone still in the chat, normally I tend to run for 2 hours, which would, I'm in the mountain time zone, so that would be 10 a.m. until noon mountain, or in Eastern it's noon till 2, depending on your point of reference. And we got ourselves, I don't know if you can see it on this map very well. Nope. Zooms and zoom outs don't help too much. But you can sort of see across the bottom, we've got our white line. We've got a white line, so we've got our square. Next step is to avoid the creeper. And the witch, probably. And try and just take this down to be a flat zone that we can work with. So that's what I'll be working on next stream, probably on Thursday. I may get a start on it on Wednesday. We'll see where my mood's at. But I may start taking some of this down off camera. And we'll be taking this piece down so that we can start probably on this corner and then start going back and forth vertically to reveal the picture as we go. And I'm choosing the vertical style because the picture I'm working with as a reference goes from one side to the other. Let me just see if I have any reference images. I'm on the wrong screen. Add image. Image 2, sure. Find a local file. Should take us just a second here to show you this, and then we can move on. Let's see ideas. There we go. Okay, this is huge. You will see it really big for a while, but yes. So this, smaller, of course. Doo-dee-doo-dee-doo, where's our corners? About in there. It's not quite right because it's a little bit wider. I'm not using the bamboo edges to it. But yeah, so approximately like that will be built out of wool. And we're going to have some fun with that. So it'll take a little while. I'll start on this end for that reference Cadfile's Crusade zone. And then we'll move to the second section where he's a monk with his herbarium, and off to the right where he's helping with the hospital and healing each other. So, in the meantime, here's the image there. In the meantime, I want to wish everyone a great day. I'm going to quickly end, and we're going to say thank you to everybody who has been here today. Special thanks to Tis for Truth and Firepower and Fantastic Sherlock Fox for dropping in. It was great to see all of you. Let's see who we've got to raid. Looks like Gruva's running, so I think we're going to head ourselves over to Gruva. Please feel free to say hi, and if you have access to the hypermote, feel free to use that one. Otherwise, I will see you again. Oh, tomorrow I'll be in at the same time slot, but tomorrow is a Whatever Wednesday with a Mist series theme, so I will be playing Riven tomorrow. I will be back on Thursday to same time slot to be doing the more of this chopping down in Minecraft. So have yourselves a great day.
Mischief managed.